And next up, unsupervised learning. The basic definition. Unsupervised learning is a training of machine learning using information that neither classified nor labeled and allowing them to act that information without guidance. Let me give a small example. Here, the computer is asking a human that are these apples or tomatoes. Simply, the human will say no. That means, in unsupervised learning, we provide unlabeled data and the machine needs to figure out what is what. And there are types of unsupervised learning. From them, mainly there are two types: clustering and association. First up, clustering. Clustering is an unsupervised machine learning method of identifying and grouping similar data points in large datasets without concern for the specific outcome. Clustering, sometimes called cluster analysis, is usually used to classify data into structures that are more easily understood and manipulated. That means, here these are unlabeled data that we are provided to the computer. From the computer, it uses the unsupervised learning techniques and find the patterns and divide these into clusters. Same as association. Association rule learning is a kind of unsupervised learning technique that tests for reliance of one data element on other data element and designed appropriately so that it can be more cost effective. For example, if you went to a store and buys a watermelon, that means you also need a glass to extract water from it. 1, 2, 3. The logo will go down from now. Same like association. Association rule is kind of unsupervised learning technique that tests for reliance of one data element on other data element and designed appropriately so that it can be more cost effective. For example, you went to a supermarket and you buy piece of bread and tomatoes and some broccoli. Then the machine which is programmed in the supermarket will think that you are trying to make a sandwich, and it also gives some suggestions on buying some cheese so that you can make a sandwich. This is called association. Let me give you a small basic example. You created a machine learning model using association technique for customers to ease their shopping. For example, if customer wants to buy one shoe, not one pair, just one shoe, he can also buy another shoe that is same like that. It is a type of association. Difference between clustering and association is just like clustering is like dividing the data elements into clusters of some data. That means here, for example, these data will be divided into clusters like green people, red people, blue people and yellow people. Meanwhile, association, if people wants to buy X, then he may also buy Y. This is the difference between clustering and association. The logo will go down from now. And next up, reinforced learning. Generally, reinforcement learning is a type of machine learning that involves an agent learning to make decision by interacting with environment. In just simple words, we give a task to the machine. If the machine do the task perfectly, we give a positive reward. Or else, if the machine do anything wrong, we can give the negative reward. This is how reinforcement learning works. The pros of reinforcement learning is, the advantages, flexibility. You can flexible to any task it can do. Adaptability. It can adapt to the task that what he is doing. Autonomous learning. It don't need any other extensional stuff other than the rewards. Exploration. It explores the data which is given to it. And performance. It performs well other than the other two learnings, just like supervised and unsupervised. We can see these type of robots in our real life, just like SpaceX companies or in Iron Man 2 movies, etc. These robots are made by reinforcement learning. As you probably being confused, right? How to remember supervised, unsupervised, reinforcement. Let me give you a small example on that is not related to the subject, but it is better for understanding. Okay. Firstly, supervised learning. We treat a child, that means we can say a child that does